one loss to India, or one more loss to India, and Pakistani bigotry is out in full force. Joining me from Pakistan are two guests to talk about what Pakistan is going through. Abdul Samad Yaqub is a political analyst and Arzu Kazmi is a journalist. And Arzu, what do you make of Kamran Akmal's racist slur against Arshdeep Singh? And not just that racist slur, the sniggering that was on in the studio. And that just goes on to show how accepted is this in Pakistan. You can say anything to Sikhs in Pakistan.
Yes, exactly, Gaurav. We can say anything to any religion except Islam, because this is the mindset of Pakistanis. Majority of Pakistanis think like that, and they support these kind of activities or these kind of talk. That's why Umar Akmal said all these things on the national TV. और आपने देखा कि जो एंकर थे, he didn't even try to stop him. और उन्होंने कोशिश भी नहीं की कि उनको करेक्ट करने के लिए. So this is the mindset. I'm not surprised. I don't know why you people are so surprised कि उमर अकमल ने ऐसा कहा है कि आपने पहले नहीं देखा what's going on in Pakistan, the way we behaved with the Hindus, with Christians and other people who lives in Pakistan and not following Islam. So I'm not surprised at all.
You're not surprised at all. Abdul Samad Yaqub, are you surprised? Because perhaps people who are not living in Pakistan are very surprised that true colors of Pakistan are out for the entire world to see. And isn't Harbhajan Singh absolutely right when he says lakh lanat to him?
Well, Gaurav, first of all, what they are trying to make it clear, or trying to find the reasons to blame. I mean, putting blame on the racism, on the basis of racism or ethnicity. The reason is because they don't want to blame the real culprit. I mean, the Mohsen Naqvi, who is the de facto prime minister, the current federal minister for interior, the chairman of the PCB. So, I mean, I am surprised that they didn't even mention the training they got. I mean, at least they could have blamed the physical training which recently they got it. So,
or perhaps it was that training. I'm sorry, sir, please don't get into trouble. Please don't get into trouble in Pakistan. But, you know, when Abdul Samad Yaqub Saab talks about the training that Pakistani cricketers got, it's the training by the Pakistan Army. The Pakistan Army gave training to the Pakistani cricket team. But Arzu, please don't get into trouble and don't answer if you feel unsafe. But training to perfect hai. Pakistan Army lost every war to India, 47, 48, 65, 71. 71, Pakistan was split into two, and that's exactly what's happening even on the, you know, between 22 yards. Pakistan cricket team is also losing to India.
Exactly. I think Pakistan Army is doing everything except their own work, which is, of course, security. That's why we are facing tough time at Afghan border. But unfortunately, इनका काम नहीं था कि वो क्रिकेटर्स को ट्रेन करते हैं, और उनकी ट्रेनिंग कैसी है वो आपको नजर आ रहा है. नॉट ओनली विद इंडिया, इवन यूएस के साथ भी इन्होंने मैच हारा था, एंड दे आर नॉट एम्बैरेस्ड इवन. और अभी भी उनको यही लग रहा है कि वो वर्ल्ड कप ले आएंगे. सो आई कांट से एनीथिंग टू देम, बिकॉज ये हमारा एक कल्चर सा बन गया है. वी आर रियली आई डोंट वांट टू से, बट आई हैव टू से, वी आर अ शेमलेस नेशन. हमें किसी चीज पे शर्म नहीं आती, ना टेररिज्म पर आती है, ना मैच हार जाने पे आती है, ना इस तरह के जो रिमार्क्स दिए जाते हैं रिलीजन के लिए, ना उस पर आती है. तो मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही कि हम लोगों के अंदर ये चीज कहां से आई है कि अब हमें किसी चीज के ऊपर भी एम्बैरेसमेंट फील नहीं होता है. एंड दिस इज वेरी रॉन्ग.
You know, since you mentioned that, and I find no reason to interrupt either of you, and before I come to Abdul Samad Yaqub, आरजू मैं आप ही से पूछना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि एक सिर्फ ये कामरान अकमल का स्टेटमेंट सिखों के बारे में, और इतना गंदा स्टेटमेंट सिखों के बारे में, because we love our Sikh brothers in India, and they've played a very critical role throughout India's history, and you know, as Hindus we are very, very grateful to them. If you were to look at what the Sikh gurus did for us, you know, the 5th guru, the 9th guru, the 10th guru, we are very proud of the Sikhs. But पाकिस्तान में इस तरह की बातें उनके लिए कहना, लेकिन केवल वो नहीं है. इजाज अहमद saying 80% of Pathans or Pashtuns are uneducated. वो सिर्फ जाते हैं, नमाज पढ़ते हैं अपने वालिद या चिचा के साथ, और उसके बाद आके सो जाते हैं. What do you make of that statement, Arzu?
ऑफ कोर्स यहाँ पर जो है आई थिंक जो बलूचिस्तान है, बलूचिस्तान और केपीके को हम बहुत हल्के में लेते हैं, उनको हम इतना ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं देते। दैट्स वाई इस किस्म की स्टेटमेंट भी आती है जो इसमें पठान जो है उनको डिग्रेड किया जाता है, और इसीलिए इसको अक्सर आप लोग तो पंजाबिस्तान भी कहते हैं पाकिस्तान को। सो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि बाकी जितने लोग यहाँ पर रहते हैं ये तो वैसे ही खामखाई में रह रहे हैं, अदरवाइज यहाँ पे तो शायद सिर्फ पंजाबीज को रहना चाहिए था, बाकी सबको यहाँ से निकाल देना चाहिए। दिस इज व्हाट आई फील।
और एक पठान ने वर्ल्ड कप दिलाया था अब्दुल समद याकूब साहब, और उसी को जेल में डाल दिया। एंड हाउ डू यू रिएक्ट, यू नो, सिंस दिस मस्ट हैव हर्ट यू मोर एज अब्दुल समद याकूब, व्हाट डू यू मेक ऑफ यू नो पीपल इन पाकिस्तान लाइक इजाज अहमद? नेशनल टेलीविजन पर पाकिस्तान में वो कह रहे जी 80%, 80% टीम तो पश्तूनों की है, पठानों की है, और वो अनएजुकेटेड है, बस नमाज पढ़ते और सो जाते हैं।
अच्छा, इस पर मैं गौरव, लास्ट टाइम व्हेन आई मेट इमरान खान लाइक 10 days ago, जब मैं उनसे मिला, और उन्होंने एक बात कही कि जब मैं क्रिकेट में अपने ओपोनेंट को नीचे गिराता था तो फिर मैं उसको उठने नहीं देता था। तो वो एक जाहिर है कि एक बड़ा कप्तान था, लेकिन मैं यहाँ पे ये कहना चाहूंगा कि इन कमरान अकमल को या इजाज अहमद को ये समझ नहीं आ रहा कि वो किसको ब्लेम करें। नॉर्मली द वन हु मस्ट बी ब्लेम्ड इज मोहसिन नकवी, सो दे आर ट्राइंग टू फाइंड लेम एक्सक्यूजेस कि शायद अगर मोहसिन नकवी के हाथ में स्कोर बोर्ड होता तो वो उसको फॉर्ज करके पाकिस्तान को विनर तो करार दे सकता था, कि वो फॉर्जरी करता जैसे उसने इलेक्शन मैनेज की है। So they thought that he is a good in managing the scoreboard. So, but unfortunately, scoreboard was not managed by Mohsin Naqvi himself. So, फिर आपको इसी तरीके से जो ये एजाज अहमद जैसे, और फिर आपको कमरान अकमल जो रिलीजियस हेट्रेड या आपको मिलेंगे इस तरह से, क्योंकि वो डायरेक्टली ब्लेम नहीं करना चाहते। वो
No, and then they go blaming Hindus. And it's not just about cricketers, even the common Pakistani on the street, you know, saying kalma go Musalman kafir Hinduon se haar gaye, or words to that effect. That's actually disgraceful in a gentleman's game. Breaking news that's coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. Apparently there's been another terror attack, and this is the second terror attack in Jammu in the past 3 days. We are now being told one terrorist has been neutralized in Kathua. We are told that search operations are underway. There are more terrorists who are hiding. And Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, he's gone on record to say that he's taking stock of the situation on ground, and that this is a joint operation of the police and the Central Armed Police Forces. Paramilitary is also a part of these operations, is what Dr. Jitendra Singh is saying. But if one terrorist has been neutralized, it will be very interesting to know if it is a Pakistani terrorist or a local terrorist who was involved. This is the second attack, and I quickly want to cut across to Sunilji Bhatt. Sunilji, what more can you tell me? So the attack on Riyasi and now this attack in Kathua. So the Jammu region is in the line of fire.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Jammu regions, hilly areas, in particular Rajouri, Poonch, Riyasi, and now even plains also. A district like Kathua are emerging as hotbed of terrorism. And in the latest terror incident, there was reportedly some firing that was heard in Hiranagar sector of Kathua district. And later on, when more information came, it came to light that there were 3 terrorists who had fired at a villager in Hiranagar, and then security forces rushed to the spot. Intense, the search operation was carried out. The security forces have been successful in neutralizing one terrorist, but as per our sources in the security establishment, 2 more terrorists are hiding in the forest area. So additional troops are being sent, reinforcements are being sent, whether it's the Jammu and Kashmir police or the paramilitary forces. Special operations group is leading this, operation, and this operation is going on. Additional troops have been rushed to the spot, but security forces have got success. One terrorist has been neutralized. So far, the identity of the terrorist, is not known, but it seems that these terrorists are Pakistani terrorists. They may have infiltrated from the international border.
Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. So that terror attack in Riyasi where 9 people were killed and now terrorists striking a village in Katwa. Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. These are the images that we are getting to you of that counter-terror operation that's taking place at night. 1 terrorist has reportedly been neutralized, 2 more still there. Recognize anti-Hindu hate and Hindu phobia, says the Hindu community in the United Kingdom, releasing what it's calling its first manifesto ahead of the July 4 general elections in the UK. The Hindu community has been alarmed by instances of attacks on Hindus and their places of worship, temples in the UK, and now wants candidates who are contesting these elections to acknowledge and respond to Hindu phobia. The manifesto seeks that parliamentary candidates recognize the anti-Hindu hate as a religious hate crime. The manifesto calls for leaders to work to prosecute and proscribe individuals and organizations that engage in Hindu phobia. The Hindu manifesto for UK elections also calls for protection of Hindu places of worship. Temples have repeatedly been targeted in the United Kingdom, and especially in recent years. The manifesto also calls for access to fairer education, equal representation and opportunities for Hindus, streamlining immigration, and very interestingly, acknowledging and protecting the dharmic values. The Hindu community in the United Kingdom seeks to protect, promote and work for the progress of Hindu interests in the UK. The question is, will there be many takers for this? Incidentally, several religious groups have come up with their religion-specific manifestos or wish list, and several candidates are actually acknowledging them depending on the voter strength of the religious community. Now, when Rishi Sunak had taken over as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in 2022, a report in the Times described Hindus in the UK as smart, rich and very well behaved. England and Wales are home to approximately 1,983,000 Hindus. The British Hindus are seen as an immigration success story. 47% British Hindus live in London, accounting for about 5% of London's population. So are they rising against the systematic targeting of Hindus as they perceive it? Joining me on India First is Charlotte Littlewood, political commentator, journalist and former counter-terrorism, counter-extremism coordinator for the UK government. Charlotte, welcome on India First. Explain the need for a Hindu manifesto or vision document in the run-up to the July 4 elections.
Hi, Gaurav. Thank you for having me on. I think just to say I've had a key role in the development of the anti-Hindu hate definition, but not really this manifesto. I understand why there is a need for a manifesto at this present time. We have religious groups across the UK launching religious manifestos. We have a Sikh manifesto, we have a Muslim manifesto, and now we have a Hindu manifesto. And politicians are playing into religious vote block voting, which is then leading for more religious manifestos to be manifested. So I understand why the Hindu community has done this. Nonetheless, I'm particularly against religious manifestos. I do think we're a multicultural, multi-faith Britain, and we need to care about the individuals rather than community blocks. But the Hindu community really had to do the same as the other religious communities if it was to be able to play as an equal player, as it were, in the current elections. Unfortunately, this is just the way these elections are going.
Okay. Now, the East Midlands is home to about 10% of British Hindus. But it is in the Midlands that Hindus have also been targeted, not just as individuals, but also their places of worship, their temples. What is their key demand through this manifesto, Charlotte?
So they are looking at anti-Hindu hate, and it's really important to raise awareness of that in the UK. The Hindu community has faced anti-Hindu hate for years and it's gone unnoticed. There's been 2 particular reports that have been done by the Henry Jackson Society, for which I authored, one that looked at the Hindu-Muslim conflict in Leicester, where Hindus were targeted, and even the mainstream press saw this as Hindus actually attacking Muslims. Actually, it was Islamists targeting Hindus. It was the other way around, and that really raised a lot of issues and concerns in the UK for the Hindu community. We then looked at anti-Hindu hate in schools and found that Hindu children were facing targeted bullying in schools, beef being thrown at them. One child had to move school 3 times because of anti-Hindu bullying. So it's a real issue that is going unnoticed and unaddressed in the UK. So I understand the want to have a definition that can then be understood and raise awareness among local authorities and schools. Another thing that they are looking at is things that concern everybody, like the NHS. They're even looking at things like loneliness. They're looking at understanding that Hindus have a relationship with India on a spiritual level, not just on a political level, some just on a spiritual level. Because one of the issues in the UK is actually targeting Hindus because of conceptions around politics in India. So it's dealing with that myth and therefore better protecting Hindus in the UK. Okay. And there is a real risk here. We're seeing the rise of independents going forward for the elections this July, and one of them is an individual called Shakil Asfar in Birmingham, who was actually involved in the targeting of Hindus in Birmingham in 2022, a part of the protest against the Mandir there that saw the flag set on fire. This particular individual, who concerned himself mainly with Kashmir and anti-LGBT protests in the UK, is now running as an independent. So there is a lot of concern among the Hindu community, understandably. However, I do think the manifesto has gone a little bit far by talking about prescribing those that are engaging in anti-Hindu hate, as prescription really is just for terrorism. Okay.
British Hindus have been described, Charlotte, as smart, rich and very well behaved, but now they feel targeted. In the United Kingdom, how are candidates reacting to religion-specific manifestos, since followers of multiple religions, you spoke of followers of other religions who've also put forward their demands through their religious manifestos?
The Hindu community in the UK is very successful, very integrated, is doing well in business. The young people are doing well at school, going to university. However, the extent to which they are noticed for that, they would say themselves is not at the level to which they believe they should be, and they see other religious groups going more noticed, getting more protection. And one of the key things raised in the manifesto is that a lot of money has gone to the protection of mosques, but not very much has gone to mandirs at all. And considering a lot of mandirs were attacked, especially in 2022, they feel like this is unjust. So this really is calling for an equality between themselves and other religious groups as well.
Okay. Charlotte Littlewood for joining me here on India Today. Many thanks. We'll be tracking that story and seeing whether this Hindu manifesto has any impact whatsoever in these elections. That is all I have for you on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.